Hello, lovely ones. Welcome to Unicorn Light Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today. For those of you who are tuning in for the very first time, welcome. It's such an honor to be able to read for you today. And for those of you who are returning, thank you so much. It is wonderful to have you here. So today what I thought we would do is, because I just did a reading before, and I will link it below if you have not seen that one already, about what to expect in the next 5 months for you. There's lots of retrogrades going on. So this is an intense period of moving and transformation, and a lot of people get nervous about retrogrades, and understandably so. I think Mercury in retrograde will forever have a little bit of a negative connotation for the most part, but there's ways of working with retrograde energy, and it really does bring up to the surface what we need to work on. So there's a huge amount of potential in the next 5 months. So we already did what to expect personally. I mean, it is a general reading, of course, but what to expect for you in the next 5 months. But the other thing to consider is that in this retrograde period, there's a lot of karma that's coming up. And whatever is owed to you, or karmic debts are being paid off. So there's an abundance factor that could be coming in too. And we're going to look at that today. So what karmic abundance is coming to you? So this is really, again, over the next 5 months. It could be as soon as like 3 minutes over the next 5 months. But it's definitely a lot of karmic old stuff is playing out. Some of it's coming to the surface to be released for good. And then the other thing is that a lot of the energy that we've been putting out there is finally coming back to us in really extreme ways. And that's part of our karma coming into this lifetime. So there's a karmic element to the next 5 months, which is truly exciting. So we have our unicorn, a beautiful little unicorn here. So we have the 3 piles as usual. I've started off with we have 2 different decks that we're using here, and they're tarot cards. And then we're going to go in and get some more information with some oracle cards. And then we're going to finish off with my own personal oracle cards that I made from scratch, just to give you a little extra vavoom and a little extra magic at the end of each reading. So for the first little icon here, we have a little fairy. I thought elemental energy would be wonderful for today. And then of course we have a unicorn, which is our pile 2. Oh, unicorn doesn't want to stay up. Little drunk unicorn. And then we have this badass kind of goddess Sagittarius fiery type archer lady here on pile 3. So as always, we'll take a deep breath and really hone in on our energy. We only want messages of love and light that resonate with you at this time. And I always say these are general messages. We do try at Unicorn Light Tarot to get you as much practical information that you can actually apply to your life as possible. You know, and if one of these piles do not resonate, go on to another one. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's really just about the messages. If you're in alignment and you're supposed to hear this message and it resonates, that's absolutely wonderful. So also for the channel, don't forget to give a thumbs up and let me know in the comments. I love hearing from you guys, and subscribe after you've had your reading and let me know how it all went for you. I love hearing from you guys, so don't hesitate to send me a comment. So, oh yes, and then everything as always will be in the timestamps below, so you can go straight to your pile and find out your messages. And if there's more than one pile that's resonating with you, absolutely do whatever you need to do. There's no wrong or right way to get a reading or to do a reading. It's just really about instinct and intuition. So always follow yours. That's just above and beyond advice that I give to everybody, no matter what. Always follow your own intuition. It's actually impeccable. If you listen to yourself, you really cannot go wrong. All right, so we are getting right into this. We are gonna the unicorn to one side and Lady Archer here. So if you chose pile 1, you've got this elemental energy. We're going to put the elemental, lovely little fairy energy, this beautiful sort of light, new perspective energy right next to the unicorn. So what karmic abundance is coming to you, particularly in the next 5 months, like over the summer, I would say, if not before? For fire, contentment, peace, and abundance, a happy home life, a successful completion of a project. The High Priestess with number 2 here. Well, that's absolutely beautiful to start off. I don't know if you can see this. This is absolutely gorgeous. So there's definitely been a completion process for you and coming back into your own magic. That seems to be a theme right now. And for you, pile 1, coming back into your own magic and wielding it the way that you want is absolutely brilliant. I feel as though the messages and the images that I'm getting is that you're throwing out. Now, this could be across the board. If you're actually doing this in your own home or your own different aspects of your life, go you. That's absolutely wonderful. But I do feel as though there's a giant clear out of what it is that wasn't working. And there was a lot of it that wasn't working. And the advice that we gave at the beginning, at the intro, really does apply to you insofar as you do have impeccable intuition, but you've not always followed it. So now you have really dedicated your life. This is the new dedication here of the abundance that's coming to you is following your own heart in all matters. Now, sometimes you do this, but you don't really, I feel as though in the past, there's not been a sort of an allowance of opening up to have that expansiveness. And that's really very much where you're at, this expansive energy of working differently in the world and also being open. I would say the one message that I'm getting for you is whatever you've asked for is almost not enough. Even if you have a very, very lofty desire of what it is that you want to achieve, which of course you will in this lifetime because you've come down here to do this work. It's how you've decided to get there, the sort of the steps, the rungs on the ladder, not thinking big enough. So what it is that you're doing, now this is something that if you've chosen pile 1, it's already resonating, you know, because you've already been there. I feel as though you've definitely come out of a completion process. You're actually already there and ready to embrace brand new beginnings. Now, there's a few practical things that we can say here. When you throw out the old, going back to the old sort of limiting ways. Now, a very specific mentality for you that just isn't going to work, and it's going to pull you back into this fear-based mentality. And when you come back into the fear-based mentality, you can't be as expansive as you want to. So polarizing, right or wrong, yes or no. I mean, obviously say no, maybe not yes or no, but right or wrong, black or white. These polarizing kind of points of views are not working with the expansive energy right now. And when you are trying to figure out the world, or when you're trying to figure out your new, or navigate, let's say, okay, when you're navigating your new world and your new perspective, to go back into alignment with these polarizing version of events is going to bring you back into a fear-based kind of thought process, and then it makes you a little bit grumpy, and then it starts to affect your perspective. It lowers your frequency then, and then the expansiveness that you need and absolutely are ready to wield, because you've thrown out everything that isn't working, comes back into fruition. So the best thing that you can do to maintain this new version of reality that you have is to really look at the polarization of how we are in the world. We've grown up in a polarized society. Certainly right and wrong, you take sides. You're right, I'm wrong, this justification, this, that, and the other. We're all part of the same cycle. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm not suggesting at all that you don't have boundaries, that you put up with anybody else's crap. Absolutely not. There's a way of accepting and leaving people to who they are without having to control any of the outcomes, but without getting involved. So the practical advice to be able to wield your new magic, it's actually old magic, but to be able to wield this new abundance that's coming in, which is free flowing, there's a lot of this dichotomy, a lot of this polarization right now. It's really come to the surface. Do not get involved in any of that energy and really start. Definitely you're a freedom thinker anyway, but really start applying that freedom thinking to absolutely everything that you do, particularly with the idea of, or the understanding of, your magic and how to wield it. So your abundance is actually coming into your own magic and wielding a new way to be in the world. So let's see here. So what energies are surrounding this abundance, this new sense of self that's highlighted here, that you've already worked so hard to come into? So this is more about, you're coming into it, this is more about maintaining it. So what are the energies that are surrounding this abundance? So I'm feeling this one. Mary Magdalene, teacher awakens. You have something important to share. Follow the inner call. Don't let anything stop you. Yes, I'm feeling the call to. So what it is that you are definitely at the point where all the work that you've done, I wouldn't say behind closed doors, but you've done it on your own terms, you're going to be able to get out there and be a light and a beacon for all the others now. Holy Spirit, yes, the Holy Spirit expect miracles. Remember that only love is real. Miracles will occur naturally. Spirit has your back. So these are beautiful cards for you to remember, because these are the energies that are coming back to it, that are really solidifying your new movement into a new perspective. So Mary Magdalene, now she's the perfect example of who you are in many ways. I mean, animals loved her, children loved her, but she took no crap really at the end of the day. And she was an outlaw. I mean, when we look at what the Bible did to demonize her, right, really at the end of the day, they even called her a prostitute when they actually went back and looked back over all of this and did actual proper research. It turns out that she wasn't a prostitute at all. She just had a certain way of living where she wasn't paying taxes. Well, neither did Jesus, but he wasn't deemed as a prostitute either. But either way, she was sort of on the outskirts of what we would consider normal or society, but she was a badass, right? So this is you. Your freedom coming back to love. Now, I don't mean that in a woo-woo way. We're doing this to give you this message so you can protect yourself, again, from the polarization that's going on out there that lowers your frequency and pulls you back into the old that you have worked so hard to let go of. Now, let's be clear. You've let go of this energy. This reading is about how you maintain your own magic and project it out there to the world on your own terms. So your two words are expansiveness. And again, we want you to do everything on your own terms now. Now, this is something that you've not really done before. You've been a renegade in many ways, but you've conformed because we've all had to. This is a time for you to watch everything from afar, let everything crumble that isn't working. And honestly, really at the end of the day, to create your new path that's based just on love and the way that you want to do things. Now, Spirit has your back, and expect miracles. The minute you release this polarization sense of self or sense of the world, the way in which you see the world, and you hone in very much and maintain the sense of self, which is pure love, pure energy, pure wisdom, and decide to do things on your own terms, you are giving that message to Spirit. Spirit comes in and creates these miracles for you. So I would say the message that I'm getting is that there's not a specific path for you to go ahead and move forward. Like before all of this sort of happened, before all these timelines shifted, there was like a path, I take this baby step, I'll do this in this one direction, and this practical way of thinking, which is absolutely fine. You start a business, you write a list of what it is that you need to do, and you move down that list. This is counterproductive or counterintuitive, I would say, to a lot of people, but that's not going to work for you anymore. Your movement is pure from love and moving forward with this intense sort of sense of self and this new grounded way of being that is just in pure expansiveness. And then as you move forward, spirit has your back. These miracles will start coming in. I would say that whatever it is that you have asked for, and we said this at the beginning of the reading, is not enough. Whatever it is that you are going to achieve in this lifetime, that's going to come to you, because again, you've moved into this understanding of who you are. This next 5 months is about what you will yield from this new energy. So whatever it is that you've asked for, I would say in 5 months you're not even going to recognize your life, which is absolutely incredible. So move forward with a sense of love and a sense of self-authority. You are now self-governing. This is what you do. You do not need anything else from out there. You are now self-governing. As long as you know that your magic is enough, you've done enough work, you're going to do this on your own terms. Now, it may not make a lot of sense to a lot of people, but then when you've worked in your own energy, the way in which you've worked in the world really didn't make a lot of sense to other people anyway. So now you're just truly embracing all aspects of yourself here and doing it on your own terms, which is absolutely incredible. So let's see what we have here. What do you need to know to be successful here? So what do you need to know to be successful? What else can we give you to be successful? Okay. I release time and let the universe show me what to do. That's exactly what we just said. Now look at all these hands that are helping. They're actually blessing her. So expansiveness, release, the idea of time. For you specifically, it's how you would have done this before, moving sort of in a linear fashion. That's not going to work for you anymore. You don't need to do that. You are actually, it sounds a little woo-woo, but bear with me. You're working beyond time and space. You don't need that anymore. Your sense of manifestation, your karma, specifically in the next 5 months, is everything that you've wanted is actually going to come into existence for you. There's no two ways about it. There's a lot of work that you've done in yourself, but what you're supposed to be doing in this lifetime is to become self-governing and to shift all of the old paradigms and move into your own magic, and then bring that magic in a brand new way with the old versions of wisdom into the world. And that's exactly what you're doing. That this is your karma returning. The abundance is absolutely lifting you up and healing you here and giving you everything that you need in order to be an absolute success. So release time, release the notion of time, release the notion of what it is that you feel like you need to do this properly. It's not going to work for you anymore. The old is not going to work, but the way in which you work now, you'll be manifesting instantaneously. What would have taken you in the old timeline to manifest, like, 3 or 4 years, will take you 3 or 4 seconds. You're working in a brand new way. As soon as I choose to see the light in dark corners, I redirect my power to what I want. Yes. So that's another thing that we've been talking about too. Taking out the idea of the polarization, right or wrong, or light and dark. You've done a lot of darkness work. You've delved in there. You've gone in, you made the dark light. You're absolutely aware of who you are. And you can teach that to others now. You're no longer afraid of the dark corners of yourself. And, self-acceptance has, for those of you who are resonating with this pile, again, this is a general reading, you might be in slightly different versions of this, but the transformation will be clear for all of you. Your level of self-acceptance really rises with the understanding that you are self-governing and you don't need anybody to tell you what to do. You really don't. And the way in which you release your wisdom into the world would be pure magic, because it's not bound by anything or anyone. You couldn't have done this before with the timelines before. You could not have. We had to wait until, whatever is going on right now started to crumble. But don't get involved in the why this is happening. There's a lot of other stuff going on out there, conspiracy theories, yes or no. It's coming. That will bring you out of the self-governing mode. Listen to all, take none of it in. The truth will be revealed as it comes out. So there's no reason to go down the rabbit hole right now. that's not going to serve you. Your intuition will tell you where to go and how to go. You have a very specific path, and your karma is the abundance karma is coming back to you in such a beautiful way. So I would say exactly what you're doing is what you're doing. And then the maintaining of this new way of being, these are my homemade oracle cards. We're going to leave you with a blessing here. So spirit has your back. When you come out of when you're self-governing, come out of the polarization of who you are and really accompany this gentle energy, but also this badass energy of who you are with the wisdom and literally not taking no for an answer. You're going to do this on your own way, a completion of sorts, but coming into a really profound sense of self, which did not in any way, shape, or form exist before. And then taking that beautiful sense of self and just being out in the world and seeing where that expansive energy takes you. Again, you will not at all you will not at all realize how your life is going to change in the next 5 months. So again, just stay where you are, release the time. Release the notion of time and how you did this before. And anytime you start to get back into that old way of thinking or slip into old ways of doing things or go down that rabbit hole of the polarization of yes or no or right or wrong, which does happen, pull yourself out of it. Go for a walk. Remind yourself, ground back into nature. Remind yourself that this is not you. Let other people fight this out. This is not your deal anymore. You're coming from a completely different perspective. So your last message here, pile 1. What have we got? There is no one who will know you better than yourself. Dig deep, accept every part of you, and then you shall know the world. I mean, that's pretty much what we've been saying. You know, it's really coming back to who you are. Again, self-governing. This all starts from you. This is not an ego thing. This is not narcissistic. This is not, oh, it's all about me. This is beyond the ego. This is coming back to know thyself, right? Aristotle, I believe. Or so, I think it's Aristotle. Know thyself. There is no one who will know you better than yourself. So the projections that you've endured over, the lifetime that you've had so far, shake them off. It's about you knowing yourself and you accepting nothing less than what you want in this world. You've already dug deep. The accepting part is there. It's more about maintaining this beautiful life that you are just about to embark on. And then reflecting that life onto the world and seeing what this karmic beauty comes back for you. It's going to be extreme and it's going to be beautiful. And as long as you remember the expansiveness is working in your favor and spirit has your back, there is literally... Stay in love, stay out of polarization. There's nothing that cannot happen for you in such a great way in this expansive realm that you've just entered into over the next 5 months. So this is incredible work that you've done. You deserve all of this beautiful karma coming your way. So do feel free to give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments if any of this resonated. Do feel free to subscribe too. Would love to have you if you feel as though this is the energy that you need in your life. So much love and light to you, pile 1. Until we meet again, take care. Bye-bye. Okay, pile 2, if you chose this cute little unicorn, this beautiful little unicorn here, then these are your messages. What karmic abundance is coming to you from now, the next 5 months, and this next cycle coming in, especially with the retrogrades. So let's have a look. Release number 13. The end of a phase of our situation, spiritual transformation, time to move on. There's definitely a lot of moving into who we are supposed to be, the energy of that. Yes, the high priest, that's so funny. Pile 1 had the high priestess. So I feel as though for you, pile 2, it's all about embracing the masculine energy within in a brand new way. So releasing the higher, moving into the higher version of the new masculine, right? I feel as though for pile 2, the vision that I'm getting is that, the sort of masculine patriarchy and all of that stuff has been very toxic actually for thousands of years. And your soul particularly feels that. So the releasing of it, the karma for you, is to release all of the toxic notions of the old sense of the masculine and seeing the world anew. And all of that energy will also be part of who you are and will transform the inner, the DNA, the insular, which again will be projected out into the exterior. So I feel as though there's going to be a new blending of the divine masculine and feminine within your soul in the next 5 months. And these have been out of odds pretty much for your entire life. You've either dumbed down the sort of the divine feminine aspect where you've appreciated it, certainly, but on the sidelines because you know you have extreme sensitivity. You are a real empath, and you've not been able to sort of integrate in the world the way in which you've been able to do that. You may have even at some point been shamed for your emotionality, but now you're coming into the understanding that your emotionality is your extreme power in this lifetime. Absolutely beautiful. You may have had a problem at some point in your life with vulnerability, with showing it, with asking for help, or if you did ask for help, you didn't necessarily expect to get it. You didn't necessarily feel as though you deserved to get it because there was shame around asking for help. So you may have had this ultra independent kind of aspect to your personality, which of course is part of building up those barriers, building up those walls. But then in your own way, you know, self-sufficient, you made things happen, but it's sort of on a somewhat limited way. And it may have not been the way in which you wanted to be in the world. There was some kind of compromise that happened there. But all of this is shifting and changing. So you've already realized that part of you. That's the old stuff. 13 for me is a very lucky number. It's also, when we think about the number 13, right? It's for me, it's a very holy number. It's a really beautiful number. I don't mean holy as in the Bible. I mean, it's a very spiritual, mystical number. A lot of, hotel rooms and motels don't have a 13th floor because of the superstition, right? So it's a mystic number. There's a floor missing, and that's where you're going to be operating when you release. You're going to be operating from this mysticism, from this new version of this higher realm of the divine feminine and the divine masculine, and coming into a completion of sorts, a real balance. You'll be able to look at your own life, looking back almost like a story or a narrative, which of course it is, but you'll be able to keep your head about what it is that you did and be able to see every sort of nuance situation, the nuance in every situation, and every person that came into your life. You may have had a lot of people in your life. You may have had a lot of interactions with people or had a lot of relationships with people where it was trauma related. You both had a certain amount of trauma coming in, and then you may have moved out of that, and then things got a little toxic. But all of the situations that you will be coming into now will not be based on the trauma that you had from the past, because you're balancing out the sacred masculine and feminine, and with that, the rising of your emotionality and integrating everything that you didn't necessarily feel was weak, being vulnerable, but you were taught that it was. So there was a part of you that was shamed for a good essence of who you are. Your power comes from your emotionality. So being shamed about that emotionality, being shamed for being that sensitive, even being teased, even in good nature for being that sensitive, of course you're going to take that energy on. But your karma is releasing and really knowing that pure energy, that like really sense of innate power comes from your emotionality. It's really beautiful, and it's going to blow everybody out of the water, including yourself. So let's see, what are the energies that are surrounding your specific abundance that I would say that you're already in? Again, these are general readings, and everybody is at different phases of this sort of transformation. So you may be at the phase where you've already integrated the divine masculine and feminine, or you're just about ready to. But let's see What energies are surrounding this abundance? Faith. Yep. Stay calm. Trust the good in yourself and others and see the light in the world. Absolutely. So I think for you, I always say think, but you know, the messages are, it's not really thinking, is it? Divine healing. Honor your sensitivity. Retreat to recharge and heal. Your light can support others. So yeah, what it is that you are going to do in your karmic essence is coming back so you can teach others to do in your own way, on your own terms, what it is that you have successfully done. Integrated the masculine and feminine, again, on your own terms. Released the notion of the old and come in to use the sensitivity and the emotionality that you have for good. And it's absolutely beautiful. Working with the world in a brand new way does require a huge amount of faith. It's very, very different to how you've been working. Now, this is a general theme for most of us right now. The way in which we've been working, even the way in which people have manifested in the past, is different. The timelines are different. It's just working differently. We need to work outside of the box. And if you want to be successful and you're already doing this, you are embracing this understanding that working outside of the box is going to work for you. Because when you've worked within the box, or 1 foot in and 1 foot in the box and 1 foot out of the box, it hasn't always worked for you. You've had a mixed bag of results, and you've definitely not gotten where you wanted to go. So having faith and allowing this divine healing just to take place on its own terms, and really this expansiveness is very brilliant for you. But I would say that, and I'm not big on mantras because they don't work for me, but I am coming back to your sense of self, where I am. So it's not like shutting out the world. It's got nothing to do with your ego. But like for you, the practical advice that I would give is I am strong. I am independent. I am fully balanced between the light and dark energies. I am emotional. I am powerful because of my emotionality. I would use this as you're coming into the sense of transformation. I am, and put whatever you need, and make everything beautiful. Make your words gorgeous when you talk to yourself, because your brain really responds to that. You're creative anyway. So these general mantras that are just like, generic language, they're all fine. And if that works for you, that's brilliant. But you have this new expansiveness. You can really go in and take this beauty that you have and apply to every section of your life. So it's the way in which you talk to yourself, what it is, the sentence that you're using after the I am phrase, make it beautiful, gorgeous, iridescent. Use words where your brain goes, oh, okay, because you're working, your neurons are working very differently. You've had a complete, reverse, not reverse. You've had a complete release of what it is that you were working on before. You're working in the world in a brand new way. The sense of balance is going to come into this understanding of profound peace that you've never had before. And from that peace, you'll be able to pick and choose what it is that you want in this lifetime. So your specific karma is coming into this balance and being able to see the beauty in everyone. Again, I want to be really clear. It doesn't mean that you're taking on other people's energies. It doesn't mean that you don't need boundaries and that, anybody can treat you however. Absolutely not. Boundaries. You do not need to put up with any of that crap. You've had to put up with people's crap in the past, but without that crap, you would not have been motivated to perform this transformation on yourself. So everything that's been in your life, negative or positive, has brought you to this moment. And that's a beautiful thing. Now, you can look back on the narrative that is your life and see everything as a positive thing. It doesn't mean that you want to live through it again. It doesn't mean that you need to go back to any of those old situations or put up with other people's crap or allow people to project onto you. Let them do whatever they want. When you're fully balanced in this new masculine and feminine energy, you will be balanced with the divine masculine and feminine. That is not the 3D version of the masculine and feminine, which is sheer will and sheer ego coming in. That's the opposite of what you're doing here. So what do you need to know to be successful? So let's give you some extra some extra love and buffer and support here for this new version of yourself with a divine masculine and feminine. And this is not a small thing. You know, I always say to people when they come for readings, I'm not a fortune teller. I can't, you know, there's certain things that, you know, if you have a connection with and you've decided to come in, if there's a twin flame energy, I can certainly pick up on that. But you can change your life at any time. There's free will. So I don't want to downplay this understanding of masculine and feminine, this balance of it. It's going to be massive, and it's going to change your life and perspective in brand new ways. And this is your karma coming in. This is in many ways what you've been leading up to your entire life. So this is not a small thing at all. I accept that good things come easily. I am a super attractor. Yes, the way in which you are balanced and the way in which you will be now aligned with the universe is brand new. So everything that you manifest will be of ease in a way that wasn't before. You know, 5 steps forward, 3 steps backwards, really working hard. You know, I always say to people, you don't need to work hard to get what you want. You really don't, but people don't get that because logically that doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't mean to say that you sit in your butt and do nothing, and that's not what you're doing. But if you spend your time aligning yourself and being really honest about who you are and what you want, everything becomes a lot more peaceful. Manifesting is the creative process of aligning with the energy of the universe to co-create an experience that elevates my spirit. Okay, to co-create an experience that elevates my spirit and the spirit of the world. So this is really about the way in which you will be manifesting. I'm going to pull one more here for you. That one didn't really, it was okay, but it wasn't doing it for me. My true safety lies in my capacity to align with the love of the universe. So yeah, the way in which you have worked, this is a beautiful card for you actually. This is the one that I wanted. The way in which that you've worked before, you've had to work on your first chakra issues, not feeling safe in the world. That's because you were, the way in which you were projected on, you were carrying that energy of the toxic masculine and feminine, and then seeing it play out in the world at large. Now that's crumbling. Your new sense of balance with the divine feminine and the masculine coming together like this creates this beautiful bridge whereby you can feel safe in the world because you've accepted your emotionality and accepted aspects of yourself that were not accepted by the general world before. But because you carried the energy of that world within, there was a part of your subconscious that believed all of that toxic, oh, well, yeah, we can't ask for help, or the shame of being so sensitive. And then there weren't enough examples of people being sensitive in the world to the level that you were at. So there was a part of you that sort of shut it down, and sometimes you even worked against yourself. But the true safety is coming in with aligning with the universe. So your true power is coming into this new alignment of profound self-acceptance, of the higher regions of the masculine, the divine masculine and feminine coming in, being able to wield your power and release the old on a global level and a metaphysical level, a spiritual level and a personal level, to work with your abundance in a brand new way and manifesting in a brand new way. And also to be able to help people do that too. So this is a brand new way, a new perspective, a new sort of, a new really powerful, instinctive, beautiful way of being in the world. It's like indestructible the way that you're doing this. Like before, I feel as though, you know, you could feel good about yourself, and then somebody would say something, or, you know, somebody would project upon you, and then you would feel really sad. You know, you've gotten to the point that your power is working from such a different place. It's so heartfelt that you just, you know, you can't be blown over by anybody else's perspective anymore. You don't need those boundaries anymore. The ironic thing is you spent a lot of time in your life building those boundaries for protection, and at times you needed them, but they ended up building up that wall. Now you don't need to put up those boundaries because you know how to handle everything and how to handle people. The boundaries are naturally there for you. You don't need to enforce them anymore. You did at the time, so let's be you know, let's be clear. And that was good for you to do that, because sensitive people need to do that. But being able to really yield your extreme power from your empathic ways is going to bring you great fortune. It's absolutely beautiful. So create your life through words. Did we not just say that? The more gorgeous your words, the more beautiful your life becomes. And the number 6 there. Did we not just say that, pile 2? That's absolutely brilliant. So to support this new world and this new balance and this new power and strength and the new way of manifesting with a divine masculine, divine feminine coming so heartfelt and so strongly and divinely into your life. Remember the way in which you speak to yourself. Gorgeous words, beautiful words, create beauty everywhere you go. Think outside of the box. Make sure that there's lots of beautiful music and inspiration, and get out there and you know, whatever you need to do for social distancing and all of that. But take pictures and be surrounded by beauty. Bring beauty into your life. Every aspect of yourself should be surrounded by beauty to help you maintain this sense of self that you're coming into. And once you've maintained it for a little while, it'll be second nature. And again, general reading, everybody's at a different place and space and time for this. But your karma of abundance is coming in, and it is profound and endless. Once you get on the other side of this and really maintain this understanding of profound self-acceptance with emotionality and this divine masculine and feminine coming in to play in a way that propels you forward in a brand new way, there's nothing you won't be able to do. This is your time, pile 2. Absolutely gorgeous. So for those of you who loved this reading or resonated with it, do feel free to give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments. I love hearing from you guys, and feel free to subscribe if you feel as though this energy is something that you want and need in your life. I would love to have you. Sending so much love and light. So excited for you, pile 2. Until we meet again, take care. Bye-bye. Okay, lovelies, for those of you who chose pile 3 and this badass Archer lady, fire sign goddess, which is indicative of your nature, of course, we are looking at what karmic abundance is coming to you. So let's have a look. Life experience, significant life event, a powerful revelation that leads to change, time to spread your wings. Lady and the Lord. I love this card. So there's been a general theme with all of the piles of coming into your own power, specifically different versions of power and how that's going to play out. For you, I feel as though there is a longing for love, and there is a longing for the love that you feel for yourself that's coming in. So this is going to work on 2 different levels for you. The karma, the good abundance karma that's coming for you is a replenishment of love. So for those of you who have twin flame energy, that energy is coming in for you thick and fast. So you will probably most likely meet your, I don't like significant other, your soulmate relationship, your karmic relationship coming into it. And those of you who have started having dreams or have a notion of that person coming in, you're probably well aware of that. And the other layer of it is this profound self-acceptance and taking that light that you've had for the world and that you've given other people. You've always given people the benefit of the doubt. And I feel as though in the past, you've been really disappointed because people haven't always treated you as well as they could, or you've given so much and you've given it to people who did their best but maybe could not reciprocate. And this really is about placing your energy where it is due. Now, that's not to say that, you're going to be a meanie from now on or anything like that. Not at all. But you have so much to give that it goes to the point where you've come out of situations and you've been depleted, or you've come out of situations you're like, what the hell happened there? Or you've been in situations where it's one-sided, you've given a lot and the other person has taken, and they've done the best that they can. Now, this new relationship that's coming in, A, with yourself and B, with another, will not be on those terms at all. This is a brand new paradigm for you. Just like the other 2 piles, this is a brand new beginning for you. This is a new karmic cycle for you that you've come into and that you're moving into. Now, these are general readings, and when we're talking about transformation, people can be in different stages of the transformation. But if you picked pile 3, unlike pile 1 and pile 2, they've already come out of a lot of that, and it's about maintaining this new idealized version of themselves, which is not idealized anymore. It's just natural and normal for them. For you in pile 3, I feel as though there's this tenderness, there's this inner child energy that just needs to be hugged. There's this notion of self-acceptance and absolute beauty, and this inner love and this inner acceptance for, you're very hard on yourself. You've fallen on your face a couple of times in your life, and a lot of that is because you've given so much of yourself. I want you to pull that energy back, pile 3, and not be hard on yourself. You're so hard on yourself. Yeah, maybe you gave your energy to the wrong people or the wrong situations and have gone down the wrong road a little bit sometimes, but it's all experience, and you did it with a good open heart. A part of you wanted to be seen. A part of you is working from the old part of you was working from the fact that you've never had the many situations in your life where you attracted people who were givers too. But there's been balanced aspects of your life too. So it's really coming into just looking back on your life, like we've said with pile 1 and pile 2, as the story, as the narrative of your life, and just really metaphysically give yourself a huge hug for every time you opened up your heart and you got it broken a little bit. Did you invest your time in people that, could not reciprocate what you were offering? Yes, you did that a lot. But you are shifting that energy and you're taking that beauty. There's a lot of transformation going on, and this applies to you too. But your karmic energy and abundance is just accepting that the person that you are is absolutely brilliant already. You just gave your energy to people who weren't ready to receive it yet, not properly. So they didn't really know what to do with it. So your actions don't really need to change. It's just instead of putting that energy constantly out there, trying to find the love and self-acceptance, you're being asked to take all of that energy and give it to yourself. And then the right people will come into your life. So your karmic balance, the karma, the good karma and abundance that's coming into you is your soul family, is your soul mates coming in. Now, we're not supposed to do all of this work for you you're definitely empaths and light workers and starseeds who chose pile 3. I'm of a belief system that most people, if not everybody who comes to my channel and subscribes, or definitely comes to my channel, is a starseed for the most part. Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. So this absolutely applies to you. But, you have all of that energy, and it's absolutely beautiful energy, and it's just about to explode in a way. But it's difficult to do that when you feel as though you're alone. Starseeds often feel as though they're alone, and they're often loners in their own way, and this is no exception to you. But the gift from the universe to you for your karmic abundance that's coming in is that you're not supposed to do this alone. Yes, of course we have spirit. That goes without saying. You have your angels, you have your guides, you have spirit, you have all of that, your ancestors. But beyond that, you have a tangible force in this lifetime, other light workers who are everybody has their own mission for the light work and starseed energy, but who are on the exact mission as you. And you are bonded in several different lifetimes, and you come into this lifetime to physically help each other and create this sort of line of equity, I keep saying. So that success, tangible, palpable support for you to really feel as though you can come into yourself and just align with your sensitive, beautiful nature and give yourself that self-acceptance. Take that self-acceptance literally to the bank, ground into your own energy, and transform your life and become the success and move in the world in a successful way. The idea that starseeds and light workers should not have success in this lifetime is absolutely ridiculous. If if there's any mind or money blocks around success, I suggest that you look at that too, because it's going to bring in your soul family quicker. The idea of money is that it's freedom. It can give you freedom to have the life that you want. If you have a significant amount of it, you can help other starseeds to do what it is that they are here to do. You can support them in tangible and palpable ways. So money is not a dirty thing, and there's no reason why you should not be paid handsomely and rewarded for what it is that you do. And that's something that you're coming into, this notion that you will be rewarded and that there are other people to physically work with, to not just support you metaphysically and spiritually, but where you can work on creative projects together. You know, the soul family and the soul mate, this is your karmic bond coming in. And that's your sense of balance and growth too, knowing beyond just telling yourself that you're not the only person that's going through this. I'm not the only person that's feeling this, but actually having that manifest in your life in a tangible form with people that you feel as though you've known forever, but maybe have just met, you know, in the last 20 minutes. So these karmic influences, these karmic people, the bonds that you have with these people that have followed you in many different lifetimes are coming in the next 5 months, and with them brings opportunity. So that's coming in for you in a very specific way. Spend some time and light looking at money blockages. Again, the easiest way to do it is, what does money mean to you? For me, it means freedom. It means freedom to go in any direction that I want. And if you just see it for what it is, then, you know, you take away the complex kind of dirtiness of, you know, for spiritual work, should I be being paid for it? Should I be? Yes, of course you should. You can help people and be paid handsomely for what you do. So this is what you're doing. Pure self-acceptance. Again, not being hard on yourself for the way that you've acted in the past, but really claiming that, yeah, I did that and I showed my soul and I may have given it to the wrong person, but that's okay. I'm an amazing person. You are going to be giving this light energy and this beautiful energy to the right people coming in. They weren't the wrong people last time, but, you know, they were karmic connections that you had in, I was going to say, your past life, but it does feel as though you've turned a new corner and everything that you've been through is now a narrative. So it kind of is a new life that you're coming into. So let's see. What energies are surrounding you with this abundance coming in? What specific energies? Let's get you a little bit more information. And this self-acceptance that you're coming into, this beautiful energy of letting your inner child kind of integrate in a brand new way, letting your inner child, your inner baby, really just sort of take over that fun, again, that fire energy, that badass energy, but that really sort of creative, like magical kind of innocent mindset that you kind of have that anyway. You have this beautiful naivety to your personality, and, you know, and it even though you're a badass, you really have that kind of naivety kind of, you know, and that's something that you've hidden a little bit because you feel as though that's gotten you hurt. But bringing that back in, that's your inner child coming in and integrating this full-fledged kind of self-acceptance. It's just this real fun, beautiful side to your personality that's going to integrate and come out too. Okay, so Dharma unfolding. Remember that you are on a path. Take one step at a time to happiness. Yeah, you're definitely on a brand new path here. And the wheel of fortune is definitely shifting to bring in, the cycle has ended for you to life experience. Yeah, a life event. The cycle has shifted. You're now pulling in the new energy of this new way of being. Lady Portia, divine order. Do what you feel is right. An important lesson is unfolding. So you've had that here in the life experience too. So as you look back on your life to see this narrative, to see this story, you are really looking, you know, in the intricate ways of your life. Don't be hard on yourself and don't go down the rabbit hole of I should have done this, I should have done that. You're not doing that. But what you are doing is you are quite rightly going back and saying, oh, you know what, in that situation, I did do this. But without the colored lens of you know, this very specific way that you would have seen it before, by being hard on yourself. Oh my goodness, I'm embarrassed. I can't believe I did it that way. Or if I said this, or if I done that. You're not doing that now. You're going back and accepting what happened. And you're releasing the negativity in each of those situations and saying, I couldn't have done any better. I really did do my best. And at every time, I want you to look at what connects the dots in all these karmic old relationships as you look back on them, as a narrative, as a storyline of who you were. And you will see that you honestly really did do your best. And at your heart of hearts, you really wanted the best for the other person. You absolutely, truly wanted to help them. Even if you wanted to be seen by them, even if you wanted them to acknowledge you in a certain way, which is totally understandable because you were working from your inner child who did not have that acceptance, you still wanted the absolute best. Your heart is as pure as possible in this lifetime. So when you look back at these life experiences, I want you to be really honest with the fact that you did your best and you really were a pure soul in this. Now, don't go into this victim thing, you know, I was done over, I did my best and people still treated me crap. You're not doing that. Remember, when you look back, that's going down the rabbit hole. When you look back, what you're doing is you're seeing it as a story, as a narrative, to be able to see things accurately and release all of the old toxic patterns of the past. And this really allows you, brings you into a new unfolding of who you are, a new unfolding of profound self-acceptance, and taking out the naive aspects of self that you've hidden away a little bit, or when they have come out, you know, sometimes you associate those aspects of yourself as, you know, of getting duped or somebody hurting you. So you've taken those naivety and you've hidden that aspect. You've hidden the inner child sort of wonder of the world and the innocence, but it's such a large part of your personality. Now with that self-acceptance, that grounding into this brand new beginning that you have, you can allow all these sensitivities, you can allow this naivety, this childlike wonder, this innocence to come out, knowing that you're not going to make or go back into the same pitfalls of giving your energy to the people who cannot appreciate you for who you are, because you've self-accepted everything and every aspect of yourself. So you're no longer looking for anything outside of who you are. You're no longer looking for somebody else or something else outside of you to complete you. So that's where you are, and that's really a gorgeous place to be. And again, do not underestimate that, because coming into this brand new way of being here brings in your karmic family, which means that you're tangibly moving forward in a very successful mindset with other successful mindseted people. I don't think that's even a word, mindseted, with other people that share your mindset. And create these very sort of tangible waves of effect in this world, and having this just beautiful kind of peace, sitting back into this understanding of who you are without having to push forward, instead of always having to sort of push instead of just being in alignment. And for those of you who have tried to control certain things, you know, saying, you know, I've got to do this to move forward, you can sort of release into the universe and see what comes back, and whatever comes back will be far more in alignment with whatever it is that you thought that you wanted when you were trying to be in control of these baby steps moving forward, and still not in alignment with complete self-acceptance of who it is that you are. So let's see if we have what you need to know to be successful. When I surrender my will to the care of spirit and the universe, I tune my energy with an ever-present stream of well-being. So there's so much happening for you. Yes, there's so much power in this releasing for you. And it's, you know, people think it's inactive. It's not an inactive power. You're being so active by understanding that your faith is unwavering, because your self-acceptance is at such a high level that you've accepted every aspect of self, and knowing that the help that you need in tangible forms is coming in, not just from spirit, not just from your ancestors, but from very much in, like I said, your soul family, and this creation of love that's coming in here. which is, for those of you who are already in a relationship, it could mean a leveling up of that relationship to a significant soulmate, grounded relationship. For those of you who are looking but understand that they're part of a twin flame, that energy or essence manifesting physically in your life. As soon as I choose to see the light in the dark corners, I redirect my power to what I want. So this goes for your inner sense of self and what you've been working on. Again, just to recap, when you go back and you look upon, what it is that isn't working, and whatever it is, there has been some kind of event where you're like, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not repeating the same thing. I'm moving around. I've been moving in circles. I've learned everything I need to do. I'm going to think outside of the box. I'm going to do things differently. Really connecting with that energy. You've been in an ascension process too. So there's been a few ups and downs, but when the downs come up to the highs and it levels out, you're in a different way of being. You walk differently. You think differently. You feel differently. You know that the self-acceptance coming into every aspect of your life now is how you move forward and create the life that you want. You also know that the old just isn't working for you anymore, and it doesn't need to. So the way in which you work with the universe, of course, is going to be brand new. And when you are in complete alignment, there's this sense of peace that comes over you, and you work from that sense of peace. You don't have to worry about how you get it or how it will manifest. It was already there for you anyway. It's just a matter of reaching out and pulling it into your existence. Now, people say that, it's, kind of woo-woo. How do I do that? Well, how you do that is, have that self-acceptance. Shine all of that light into those dark aspects. Stop being down on yourself and accept everything that you've done, knowing that your heart is probably one of the most purest that's ever come to this earth. You really do have a pure heart. I would see a lot of you wouldn't hurt an animal, a fly. I mean, you make sure black widows get outside. No matter what you're scared, you have a lot of respect for living life, and like that's been hard on you too, to in the external, to see how people just don't have that respect. But this is your time to reclaim all of who you are, not just the level of the emotionality, but really get in touch with that inner child, that sense of innocence and naivety that no longer needs to be guarded. And that is what will bring you to the next tangible force in your life, which is you working, in succession with every element of yourself. I feel as though you were very much a chameleon. Like if you needed to be a badass in a situation, you would. If you felt comfortable, your childlike kind of aura would come out in certain situations. But you sort of attune your personality to where you're going and what you're doing. What you'll be doing in this, your karmic gift, as it were, an abundance, is walking into a room and everybody else has to align with you. No longer having to do that anymore. Just all aspects of self are ever changing, certainly, but you are not lowering yourself to fit in. Other people have to level up to be in and around you, and that's a beautiful way to be. So at all aspects of your personality can be shown safely in all places. You're not asking for permission. You're not asking to be loved. You're doing that for yourself now. So the last thing we have here: create your life through words. The more gorgeous your words, the more beautiful your life becomes. This has come up, I think that was pile 2. Also, creativity, beauty, bring beauty back into every aspect of your life. Dancing, your inner child wants to dance and sing and paint, and it's not about it being brilliant or putting it out there so you can make money from it necessarily or whatever. I mean, just do it for the sake of doing it, without a critical eye on your point. This is just fun for the hell of the expression. Just bring in all of that stuff. I feel as though sometimes you're like, oh yeah, you're really talented, either graphic design or creativity or whatever it is. You're absolutely gifted. There's no two ways about it. But every time you start something, it has to be brilliant. You put way too much pressure on yourself with that perfectionism. We just want you to go out there and explore and get that creative juice going again. for the sake of it, for the hell of it. You don't know where it's going to go. Don't try and perceive where it's going to go. Just lighten up everything. The way in which you speak to yourself, the way in which you navigate your existence, make it beautiful. How do you speak to yourself? Use gorgeous words. I talked about vision boards recently. Make a beautiful vision board. Just if you can, if you want to, rearrange your space, paint a wall, do whatever it is that you need to do to invoke this new way of being, of constantly just being you. I'm going to pull one more of these too, just because we have had that one before and I'm feeling the need. Unicorns are not looking to be accepted. You aren't either. No more doubt, step up. Now, I could not think of a better card, pile 3, for you. Unicorns are not looking to be accepted. They look kind of funky, right? With their one horn and doing it. They just get out there and do their thing. They know who they are. They know they're magical. They have everything innately inside of them. They're not looking for anybody to project upon them. If you want to work with them, they're right there. If you don't, that's fine too. No more doubt on who you are. Just step up and be who you are without apology. So that's it. No more looking outside of yourself for who you are. Profound self-acceptance that leads to this beautiful understanding of new ways to be in the world and new people coming into your life to support those new ways. So this is an exciting, beautiful time for you, pile 3. I am genuinely excited for you. Please let me know if any of this resonated in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. Feel free to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I would love to hear, I would love to have you. If this is energy that you feel like you need in your life right now, I would love to be there for you. So you take care, pile 3, and until we meet again, bye-bye.